All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and move into who's who and what's new. And just a quick housekeeping issue. Just to remind you guys, we do not crosstalk these headlines each week. I go out, I find what's trending, slash what makes me laugh or what's interesting to us. And then we throw them up here at the speed of the mainstream media, and we line them up and we shoot them down. Are you ready?
You said throw them up, so I thought I'd help
throw
you
them
out
up
there.
Throw them up here on the screen. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to try something a little new this week. I got a headline, and then I got a couple of videos that broke live. All right, moving right along. Fox News. Fox News got caught dipping their fingers into, the satanic cookie jar. And you know who it was that broke the story on them? It was The Blaze and Newsmax. So, report Fox halts satanic temple donation matches. Yes. So
what is Rupert Murdoch doing?
So this is what was going on here. It turns out that Fox News as an organization was encouraging their employees to donate to the Satanic Temple, Planned Parenthood, and various alphabet agency. And you know who I'm talking about when I say that, right?
Yes.
The LMNOP community, They were donating to multiple organizations affiliated with that community. They were matching, their employees' donations to it.
Matching donations, okay.
Yep. And then The Blaze and Glenn Beck over there caught wind of that. They reported on it. And then Fox News, as soon as the reporting happened, they knocked that off real quick. With a quickness. So it's that kind of stuff that lets you know, though, that they understand that this stuff is not it's not popular with their, conservative, family first, largely Christian base. Like that type of people that watch Fox News religiously, pun intended, are not cool with that,
Right.
So what I want to know, like how does that stuff happen? In your opinion, like how does that creep into organizations like that?
Because one or two employees that would go, well, I'm with this group and you don't allow your matching funds to go with us. And so they're thinking, in their woke mindset that if we don't go along with this, then, somebody's going to find out. Right. So they go along with this. And somebody finds out because one of the other employees goes, wait, I'm turning this over to The Blaze. Watch what happens here.
It's never a good thing when the people that are supposed to report on the news end up becoming the news.
The news.
Yeah.
I know. And so that's how that ends up happening. And this goes back to that session that we were just talking, or that we had recorded. What was that?
The mindsets of highly successful people.
Successful people. And so be consistent. And what got them into trouble here, be ethical. Now, if they would have been that way all the way through, right. And been supporting satanic and abortion clinics and all this other kind of stuff. Right. If that would have been them all the way through, it wouldn't have turned a head.
It's just kind of funny.
Because that would have been down.
It's just kind of funny though, like when you try to sell something to one community, but then you're turning around and donating funds to the community that's completely antithetical to your actual customer base's morals.
Right. Yeah.
That's a real duplicitous type of, like you said, unethical because of being arbitrary, because of being arbitrary and ambivalent, back and forth.
If they would have just been consistent, it's not news.
Right. It's really not, Exactly.
It's not news at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Moving right along. So Senator Mitch McConnell was addressing,
I saw this.
He was addressing the press in the Capitol the other day, and then he had himself a medical emergency live on TV. So I want to preface this before we go into it. This is not a joke. I am not making light of this situation in any way. But I did want to.
This is serious.
I did want to play this.
This is very, very serious. Okay, here we go. Yep.
been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Mm. Mm. People only knew what they're watching.
Right, and they don't understand.
Some, very few, but there's some people who do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna linger on this
Now
for a
watch this.
second.
It got quiet. Did we count how many seconds happened in there before somebody actually paid attention to him? What does that say about when those guys go up for a speech?
Well, there's one more thing that I want to show.
Okay.
Watch his gait as he's moving.
Go ahead. Right. You saw how long that lasted, where he seemingly.
So, couple things that I just want to point out. So these are some of the classic signs and symptoms of possibly having a stroke. At a minimum, what they call a transient ischemic attack, or
TSA, yep.
possibly an epileptic seizure. But a few things that I wanted to point out in that. This is something very near and dear to my heart, dealing with emergency medical situations, right? If you would have noticed, he became what's called ataxic. That's where he became suddenly unsteady and uncoordinated. That's why he gripped the podium and seemed to like lose his balance as they were escorting him. He didn't want to let go of the podium. He was suddenly very unsteady on his feet. That's ataxic. He became what's called expressively aphasic. Aphasia is where you can no longer, you're having problems communicating. You can be receptively aphasic, where you don't understand what people are saying to you. It all of a sudden sounds like gobbledygook, right? Or another language. Or you can be expressively aphasic, where you understand what people are saying to you, but you suddenly can't speak. Hard to know which he's experiencing because he just stopped talking. And then you see the dazed and confused. So yeah, absolutely. Senator Mitch McConnell was having himself some type of emergency medical situation here. And then I really appreciate what you pointed out immediately, and that was how long. So there's a saying that we have when you're dealing with cardiac events specifically and brain events like a stroke, and that is time is tissue. So the second something like that starts happening, you're having tissue either in your brain for a stroke, and then cardiac tissue for a heart attack that is suddenly going without oxygen, is being starved of oxygen, and every second that it goes without oxygen, that tissue dies. The more that tissue dies, you
neurotissue
can't
just dies.
Regenerate neurotissue and cardiac tissue. Yeah, and you were the first to point out as we were watching that, it's like how many seconds went by and nobody's doing anything. And then the crazy part is they just like usher him over to the side and they go on and they finish the press conference.
Let me tell you one more crazy thing.
This man needs a hospital.
Minutes. Yeah, yes. And within 15 minutes, so they take him back. Now, the one guy to his left that actually helped him was a doctor. Well, I don't know if you knew that or not. He comes over to the podium and he's the first one that ushers him away from the podium.
Okay.
He is actually a medical doctor. Okay.
Well, you have that going for you.
They asked the guy later, they're like, all these questions about what is he doing and how is he and what's going on and what is his condition. He says, I am a doctor. I am not his doctor.
That is always, I have a really funny story about a dermatologist getting called in to run a cardiac code one time. That doctor was not happy.
I am a doctor, but I am not.
I'm a skin doctor, man. Pimples and warts and stuff.
Yeah.
Rashes.
But here's the thing to the American people. We all just watched that. 15 minutes later, they come out and they run and they give a statement on him. He is fine. Now, anybody with half a brain watch that should know that man is not fine at all.
I think he's 81 years old. I believe that's correct.
He's in his 80s. Dianne Feinstein is in her 90s.
Yeah,
she's in her 90s, and we had an episode with her.
It's another senator.
That's for another story. We're not going to go there. But what they did to the American people, a child could have watched that and go, what's wrong with that man?
Yeah.
And 15 minutes later, they come out, oh, he's fine. No, he's not. No, he's not.
I call them SAR moments, stuff ain't right. So when you see something that's obviously not right, stuff ain't right. But anyway, I got one more for you, rapid fire here. So this happened up on the Congressional Hill the other day too. Check it out.
Non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Our government.
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
I'm sorry. I'm here in Congress, but I can't discuss that.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Do you know what the biologics were? Somebody spit up
Were they
on the
human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I love how it's literally the plot to the movie Independence Day.
They've made contact with our government.
Yeah.
Stupid idiots.
Yeah. Of all the
Somebody came down and said, "Take me to your leader."
Right.
Well, that was their first
Right.
mistake.
Well, I have it on good authority too that we're going to be releasing several $1 billion to Mars here soon out of the defense. That was a joke. It's a joke. Don't get mad. It was a joke.
No.
right.
Can we go for chocolate chip ice cream afterwards?
All right. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Aliens. Anybody that had
Versus monsters.
Anybody?
Are we going to get monsters next?
Yeah, anybody that had that on their Earth 2023 bingo card, congratulations. If you guys like the videos, go ahead and follow the link tree, like, subscribe, follow, share the video with a friend, help us grow the channel. Hope you guys stick around for the keeping the main thing the main thing. We'll see you over there.